So when thinking about ceramic, and it starts from clay, and the very important element is the earth. So you can see one thing is about the clay, which can make it thin and refined. Another thing is about the color. The color is about the mineral composition in the coloring. This looks very much German style, don't you think so? Wow, this is such an amazing palace. I need to check out what the story behind it. And you can sit here. Can you believe? Let me sit here. This is amazing. Look at the chandelier. The lighting is simple and elegant. The roof. Wow. Another chandelier. That's the connection to the modern exhibition. Wow. Okay, so here are, I think these are the manufacturers. Josiah, Wedgwood and Sons from England from 1795 and still functioning now. And these are the English ceramics. And I am really amazed by this basket. I remember there was one time I visited a ceramic manufacturer in Schuflenheim in Alsace, France, and I saw them making this. They make the ceramic dolls, the clay doll or ceramic dolls, and then make it into the shape of a particular demand, like pasta, like noodles, and then weaving each noodle together. This is amazing, the work it has put into it. And that blue mat, blue with relief sculpture. Wow. And this is outside, a courtyard. I saw some people reading books there. Oh, this is so amazing. This is this ceramic also? It's glazed ceramic. It's very much like Tang Dynasty. We have a kind of this kind of glaze, Tang San Cai. Wow, look at it. This one, how they made it. It looks like how did they make it? Feels like glued on. Wow. So I think when they made it, when they painted, it's much more accurate, the line. And because of the kiln temperature, so the mineral got melted and get this very impressive, like impressionist kind of art result. It's not intended to be so, I think, and it get the result just equally fine or maybe more interesting. If you see a lot of artwork, there are a lot of artworks come from accident, comes from mistake. I will look for one of those mistake art piece that become a particular style. Okay, I have not yet found any of them, but I will just use my way of explaining it. It's something like the top one. And in China, there is one particular style of ceramic with green, blue, bluish green, greenish blue glaze, with bluish green, greenish blue glaze, not this kind of blue and white. This is a very typical Chinese, even the clothing. And I have not yet found it. Let me keep on. So the glaze, they put the ceramic in the fire, and the glaze is very heavy, is very thick. And so when the ceramic is getting out of the kiln, and suddenly it gets cold temperature, so it has cracking. This is not that. This is a thinner layer, so there is no cracking. That particular style I have not yet found, and there is this cracking, and it is very interesting. So the craftsmen find it interesting and then make it a particular style. The color is a little bit like this, but there is no cracking. It's completely flat surface. But what I am talking about has this cracking. And then they develop that style, make it to a particular cracking glaze. When I go back home, I will show you those special glaze. Okay, here we have two marvelous pieces of American artist. The artist name is Edwin Dickey. Edwin Deakin from 1838 to 1923. Edward Deakin was American, and he traveled to Europe, to England, to France, to different countries in Europe, in London, in Paris, and learned about his art skill and came back to America and made this piece. This piece is called Christmas, and it's in front of Hotel Cluny in Paris. I remember there was a place called Cluny or something, I forgot. Anyway, so he painted a nun, a female feeding the birds. And he came back, showed that piece. The artwork is called Memory of Memoir de Cluny, the memory of Cluny, Hotel de Cluny. And then some art critics said, well, it is good, but it is better to omit that human figure. So he reproduced this piece of painting, and he did omit the female nun, the female figure, and put some birds as highlight. Here, the birds has remained, and some glass window, Tiffany window. So this is a Hotel Cluny. And this piece is called She Will Come Tomorrow. And this piece is inspired by Charles Dickens, the story, The Old Curiosity Shop. I do not know very much about more than it, but it does feel that dark, that moody, that moist, that gloomy London fog through this painting. And the background is Westminster Abbey. See, Westminster Abbey. Wow. Remember his name? Edwin Deakin. Okay, look at it. Here is the Crockers and their era. Okay, here is a little bit about the Crockers and their era. And as I know, the Crockers, this museum was the product. I do not know if I say this is right. It's my very short impression from here. Is the product of Pacific, California Pacific Railroad. There was this big five. They are the five most important people in making this Pacific Railroad. And now we mention only big four. Why it is big five? Because one of the big five, one of them was retiring early. So there was this big four. Now let's take a look. So this one is a commissioned art piece. Do I make sense? This is a commissioned art piece of the people who contributed to the, actually everyone contributed. These are the richest or the most powerful figures in the Pacific Railway, Central Pacific Railroad. So this is Mark Hopkins, and this one is Leland Stanford, the founder of Stanford University. And this one is Collis Huntington, and this is E.B. Crocker, and the legacy comes from this Crocker family. He was an attorney, and he left New York to be assigned California's state legislature leadership, and he came here and so he resigned, or not working for the government job. He worked as a legal advisor, counsel for Central Pacific Railroad, and made big fortune. And then later on, he had a stroke, so he could not move. He was paralyzed. If he was not paralyzed, if he lived longer, he will become one of the big five. And this big five is not so very often mentioned, although he's one of the founder. And this is Crocker's younger brother, Charles Crocker. He lived a much longer life, and he made much more fortune. And there was a book about the richest 100 people in America, from Benjamin Franklin to Bill Gates. He is, let me see if he's above Bill Gates. He is number 42, and just a little bit below Rockefeller and Bill Gates, but he's higher ranking in the money than Howard Hughes and Paul Getty. Okay, California is about money, and this is one of their old residence. This is a residence, and it's very close to where we are sitting in here. It's 3rd Street and P Street. Wow. The residence of E.B. Mrs. E.B. Crocker. So, okay, so this is, the museum is started from him, and of course it's a collected fortune of finance of all the Crocker family. So he paralyzed, and he had a stroke, so he stopped walking, but he traveled to Europe, and in Europe he collected artwork and bring it back to California, and his goal was to promote cultural and art life of California. So he made this museum, and he put all the collected artworks in his museum, and he started to promote local American and Californian local artists. And his daughter, he had seven children, only 2 survived. One of his 4th daughter who survived, the other died young. One of his daughter married to another rich guy, and they went to Korea. And the daughter and the husband own 7 gold mines in Korea. And the daughter also contributed a great deal of the art collection, ancient Eastern Oriental art from her collection in Korea. Like said here, Jenny. I cannot zoom in. Maybe I will show the picture. So this is Margaret Crocker. She is the wife of E.B. Crocker, William Jackson, Margaret Crocker. Mrs. Fassett, and she went to Korea, I think. The daughter, Jenny Louise Crocker, she married Fassett and went to Korea and brought in Korean art piece.
Although there's a sink here. Yeah, so it should become a sink in your bathroom.
And this is a candle Braun, candela, candelabrum, and plateau. Maybe candle here, and put some things here, decoration. I do not know. I am a little bit not knowing how to use it. 这是大钟. This is a clock, as you sure know. And this is a park. this is the place we have seen the picture. The Crocker family lived here. This building with its art treasures is the gift of Mrs. Margaret E. Crocker to the city of Sacramento in trust for the public and the California Museum Association, 1885. So the wife of E.B. Crocker, Mrs. Crocker, gifted this museum and its art treasure to the city of Sacramento. So this is the new section, and definitely breathtaking art pieces. This is an amazing art museum. And look at this. Let's just take some time to look at each of them. This one has such a clear, contracting line and shape, distinguished but well incorporated. And this one is so dreamy, foggy, and vague, and nuanced. There is something hidden deeply, and there is something you can see, you can catch, but you cannot get exactly what it is. or exact in you, that power of curiosity and power of not knowing, and the power of expressing. This is so beautiful. Maurice Braun, early morning moonrise. Gardner George Simmons, view from Point Loma. It may look easy to paint, but it takes artists so much pondering, so much thinking, and so much visioning to get it out. You can copy it, but you can never get the spirit, the moment of that particular it. Another piece by the same artist, Maurice Braun. I very much like his style. Foothills. San Diego region, 1934. I guess this is Maurice, no? Franz Bischoff. Arroyo Seco, Pasadena.